over the next couple of board meetings, you are going to be hearing a lot about the budget. And there's two things that I want to keep you in mind. There's that structural hole, which I've talked about for a long period of time, that we need to somehow fix in Hillsborough, largely due because of the state aid cuts. And then there's things that we can do outside of that as well. And what I wanted to point out was something really special that has taken place during the course of this year financially, and some things that you may not be really super aware of unless you read board information in detail. So behind me, you'll see there's 23-24 additional funding opportunities since the approval of the budget. Now, these are additional funding opportunities. And what do I mean by that? Let me give you a concrete example. If you have your electric bill at home and for some reason you don't have enough money to pay it, and your friend comes along and says, I'm going to give you $100, but you can only spend this on your water bill. Well, you're kind of beholden to that. You can only spend it on the water bill. You still have that electric bill you have to pay. So while what I'm about to show you does not fix the structural part of our budget, when people are normally in a budget hole, it's like, woe is me, what can we do? There's not much we can do because we're in budget trouble. Well, let me go through some of the things that we did just this year so that everybody has a comprehensive understanding of what was accomplished in 23-24. Through advocacy, and not just my advocacy, but lots of people here, as well as members of the educational community, talked to the state to get $602,000 restored from the state aid cuts that happened in this year's budget. Additionally, on top of that, we got $626,000 from the state budget specifically to address necessary safety concerns and upgrades at the Hillsborough High School auditorium. Of course, we have to thank the taxpayers of Hillsborough for passing 2 referendums for our security department, as well as to hire 20 certificated staff members. So it's good that we did all of this, but that's not all we have done. We have hunted for every grant and for every opportunity that we can for children in a whole variety of ways. So what else have we done this year? I'm not talking about the grants that we get every year, Title I, that the schools get, or IDA that all schools get for special education. I'm saying, what did we hunt and peck for so that we can deliver more for the children of Hillsborough? The first thing, and you'll find it on tonight's agenda, we were awarded $310,456 in stabilization aid. It's the first time Hillsborough has received stabilization aid, and we are going to be using that money to address issues pertaining to safety and security infrastructure. Last year, before I was superintendent in Hillsborough, I found out Hillsborough got 0. And it was a goal of mine and Mr. Eckert's and Ms. Lefevre's to make sure that we brought something home for Hillsborough this year. We brought home a little over $300,000. Earlier this year, we were awarded a grant of over $175,000 by the School Development Authority to help offset HVAC repairs at Hillsborough High School. We were awarded over $21,000 as part of the Food for Schools grant, where our food services are going to be working with a local farm in town and make that connection where we could be actually serving and eating foods that are grown right here in Hillsborough. Mr. Handler recently was able to procure $191,000 in grants. Now, granted, that is payable in over 4 years to help improve our cybersecurity here in Hillsborough. A couple of board meetings ago, we procured $307,000 in grants from the New Jersey Learning Acceleration Grant for high impact tutoring for most of our third and fourth grade, at mostly third and fourth grade levels. We have got Play Unified grants where we expanded high school soccer and an elementary club. We've got an Affinity credit card grant for concert attire and $2,000 from an Invention Land grant for STEM PD. So we have this budgetary hole, but we are looking at a whole lot of different ways as to what can we still do for the students in Hillsborough. Advocacy work, and not just mine, a lot of you were involved in that too, led to $1.2 million we have no entitlement to, but we got it. Thanks to the taxpayers of Hillsborough, we were given $2.8 million. That's not something we were entitled to. You, the people of Hillsborough, decided that that was good for schools. And then in addition to that, my administrative staff and my teaching staff put together over $1 million in grants during the course of this budget year to make sure that the students in Hillsborough are getting the things that they need. We didn't have to do any of this. We could have said, woe is us. We have a budget hole. What are we going to do? We didn't take that lying down. We're continuing to advocate for fair funding in Hillsborough. And while we have unfair funding, we're going to find other ways to do what we need to do for kids. The one thing that I want to point out to everybody here is while we've procured this about $5 million in the course of 1 year, it doesn't help fill our budget hole. Similar to the electric bill versus the water bill, all of these things, you can see what these grants are for. And what this allows us to do is something we would not be able to do for children in our own individual budget. So I thank you for all of your support when it comes to that. I thank everybody who's been involved in the finances of this district, and that putting together $5 million in a non-building referendum, you don't ever see that happen in a school district. So I'm very proud of the work we've done here. And if you weren't aware of that, I just wanted to make you aware of some of the things that we are doing. We will have continuing budget conversations about next year's budget over the next several board meetings, but you can expect that we will be taking similar approaches, looking for every dime we can get for the children of Hillsborough.